All right, boys and girls, welcome back to day 2 of the DreamHack Major. Season 11 will be coming to an end after the next 10 or 11 or 12 days or so. PSG, LGD, NIP are the teams we're looking at here in group letter B. We got our GSL-style group stage started yesterday. We saw some winners. We saw a couple of losers, and today they will be separated. We're starting up with the winners. These two guys won out yesterday, and we'll see who's going to find the advantage here. This should be a good one.
I got to say, I'm pretty pleased that we're sticking with the same groups. I think that's very nice for us. Of course,
yes,
you know, it means I have to go back and watch some of the other ones if I want to see how those matches went. But it's fun to not have to come in today and be like, well, I wonder how they played yesterday, you know?
Yeah.
So we got a good feel for them. I mean, LGD absolutely, I believe I used the term obliterated, infamous, which is quite accurate, I would say. They crushed them like it was beneath the hoof of Great Magnus.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has hooves. I feel like he does.
He's got hooves. Yeah.
And NIP game 1 was hype. We went 70 minutes, but then it wasn't so hype after that. It was 2 very quick victories for NIP over Fnatic. So now we'll take a look at how these two teams stack up. Got to be favoring LGD, I think, but with XM standing in, then perhaps that's enough to just push NIP over the edge. You know, if this was like maybe LGD, I'm saying you'd be like almost guaranteed favoring, and I don't think that would be unfair. But in this scenario, I'm kind of leaning towards NIP, honestly, with how they played.
Yeah, I think XM looked pretty good yesterday. It's always hard to put contextualize games like that are so one-sided because pretty much everybody on LGD had good games yesterday, especially that first match. I mean, Ame had pretty much a flawless series on, what was it, Jug and then PL in the second game. Yeah. So here we'll see Magnus. We talked about him yesterday. He was first banned, I think, both games against PSG.LGD by Infamous. So they'll get to do a little RP action here. And now the Shadow Shaman. You called for some Shadow Shaman yesterday, Trent. And here NIP will oblige. Yeah,
there were no bans on it, I think, through all of our games. It was really surprising. So here he is. Of course, he did get the nerf to Shackles recently. So it just makes it a little worse when you leave it at level 1. But the hero is still extremely strong. And, well, Pango has been a hero that is wavering back and forth in the camp of extremely strong. Some games he looks absolutely incredible, and then other games there are Roots, there's Grimstrokes, there are Puck Dream Coils, absolutely destroying his ultimate. So we'll see if LGD are willing to snag up one of those counters right away.
It's also just strange how his laning phase seems so boom or bust. You know, it's either he's zoned out and can't really do anything, or the swashbuckle's super annoying. He's jumping in, harassing, clearing out creep waves, and it seems like you can't handle him. You know, he's not one of those, like, I'm just kind of here getting some CS. We're breaking even. To me, he is like the ultimate boom or bust position 3.
I think when you see a Magnus first pick, it actually opens you up to getting this Pango because you can then try and match the Pango in a 1v1 versus the Magnus and give your Pango a really good start. And that's, I think, why they took the Shadow Shaman too, is because they're starting to think already about a trialing scenario. But LGD is going to respond in kind there by getting this Bane, who has the BKB/spell immunity piercing ultimate, which you're going to want versus a Pangolier. Even just holding that ulti in place can be a big save during team fights. And Bane is also, of course, very well prepared for tri-lanes, which both teams are just going to have on the mind right now.
Okay, moving into the second banning phase. Lone Druid now taken out by LGD. We saw a lot of Bounty Hunter yesterday as well. He seemed to be a fairly popular choice. And a couple, one in particular, really impressive game with him where you can feel the momentum. If he can hit level 7 and grab a couple of kills, he can actually snowball to be a pretty scary presence.
And that was the LGD when they had first pick too, so that's why you see it forced out as a ban here from NIP, because if LGD is willing to just take it first overall, obviously they highly value the hero. Now the real disappointment though is that because I think we're being already focused into the possibilities of tri-lanes, LGD did not go towards their Disruptor. It's still possible, because I do think Disruptor works as a position 4, but with the you want to be keeping this flexibility of the Magnus possibly being position 4 as well. So it's very unlikely we're going to get Disruptor, especially because he's not that great versus Pango.
Yeah. The Disruptor did look fairly good overall, though. I think that hero still has a place. If you're like a team that sees Disruptor as a comfort pick, or you have a really good Disruptor player, I think he's still someone that can fit into these really good mid-game kind of team fight lineups. He definitely has weaknesses, but man, when you're ahead, we saw it yesterday.
Yeah, he was really good for getting kills with the jug. I think game 1 he stood out pretty well, and it was like, oh, this was a good disruptor game. But even in that game, it kind of felt like he could have been about 10 other supports. You know what I mean? Like,
it is true.
I don't think there were that many great static storms across both games, especially game 2. I think he like whiffed a couple on like the bat and stuff, and like the glimpses weren't even there. And I was just kind of like, I love disruptor, but maybe this hero's actually not that good.
Yeah,
because it kind of felt like he could have played other stuff.
Didn't they pick a Queen of Pain too on Infamous?
In game 1, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a 5th pick Queen of Pain, which was also kind of peculiar, which I would say is generally good for the disruptor player. You know, any kind of blink core, you've got some tools to deal with that.
Especially when their cooldown's so long for the early game, but...
Yeah.
We're getting rid of the Magnus friends here. We've already gotten rid of the PA. They're probably deciding between the Troll or the Jug at the moment. I would probably ban the Troll. I feel like that hero is really good. And they've also played it recently enough, at least in their last match. They're picking some Troll. Then again, they also just had a standard Omni game yesterday on the Jug, but I think Troll is just a little better.
We've seen Troll banned out quite a bit around this phase, like 4th, 5th, 6th kind of. It seems to be that spot where Troll looks really scary in these drafts.
For this phase will be NIP, so assuming this is a Peter Shadow Shaman. Now, we had LGD picking the support Pango yesterday for FY, which is pretty cool, but I'm pretty sure this will end up being a 3-3 Pango. But, of course, the flexibility is always there. I believe they've also played it on Ace. No, maybe it wasn't Ace. Someone played it recently for them, or maybe I'm thinking of another team. But they've definitely played on 3-3. That's who I've seen the most lately, so they will take care of the Jug.
Okay.
That'll be their ban. And we'll have to be thinking about what Soxa is going to be playing this game.
Good question. Shadow Shaman opener, you've got some flexibility. You don't really have to worry about your second support having a lot of control or objective taking. You're free to take somebody else like
I mean,
Tusk would be great here if he wasn't banned.
They also play Soxa Shaman too if they wanted like the Grimstroke or something themselves, but they'll take the ET. So that'll be Soxa, and then it'll be Peter Shaman.
I like it. Sort of a similar vein to the Tusk in some ways, help break up some of these team fights. We saw, didn't they play Elder Titan in that long game 1 yesterday against Fnatic?
Someone did. I think Fnatic had it, because Fnatic won
picked it up.
the ET won. Yeah.
It's a pretty good Elder Titan game. Good example of what he can do, especially towards the late game when he gets pretty farmed up.
Now, if LGD are really feeling themselves, I have noticed, I went back, I was watching some of the VODs last night, just like skipping through them. I saw quite a few Clockwork games. You know, Clockwork popping back. I think mostly support role, but Clockwork used to be the answer to ET, is that you would pick him so that if you ever ran into each other while roaming, the Clock can just straight up kill the ET. Because he just does so much damage and he can outrun you and everything. And this actually already looks like a really good Clock game. That'd be pretty hype. But instead, it'll just be the same story as yesterday. We just get another Tiny.
Yep. A lot of control now for LGD. Some toss gaming. Kind of a tough setup for Shadow Shaman. You've got 3 heroes that all have tools against that paper-thin little Rasta that wants to stand there and channel his shackles.
10 seconds remaining.
I feel like they more often leave the Ace hero for last compared to the Fada hero when it comes to NIP. And maybe with the fact that the Pango can go mid. What's the play here? It's like I kind of want to leave Ace's hero last. I feel like Ace carries me when I win games if I'm NIP.
PSG.LGD.
And they will take the Doom, though. Okay, we got some mix-ups here.
So,
all right.
Mid-Doom or mid-Pango, it looks like.
Yeah, most likely mid-Pango. But we've also seen a couple teams running the safe lane Doom a few times as well. I'm not expecting it here, but this should be, I'm guessing, a 3-3 Doom, Fada Pango. And we'll have Ace's hero last.
Yeah, but I think you're absolutely right about picking that Ace hero last. We definitely saw that yesterday in their pretty tense series. That Ember Spirit in the first game was so well played. I think, what did he die like 2 or 3 times maybe in 75 minutes? I mean, he had a really impressive performance in a game that was not particularly easy.
Yeah. What are other Magnus heroes? We have Ember, we have Troll. I really don't think you want to pick Ember this game. I think Doom, Pango, and Shadow Shaman looks pretty spooky. But any hero versus Doom is going to have trouble, right? Like, let's say you went for the Troll Warlord here or something. It might be difficult to get off your ulti.
Is there a better choice than Troll? He seems like the obvious pick to go with the Magnus, but what's your alternative?
I would say that he is definitely the strongest one that I can consider. I'm not sure what else really fits. And they're kind of forced to pick it here because it's most likely the Mag partner that's getting banned.
What about
the other
PL?
one would be like a Faceless Void or something, but I don't think PL really synergizes that well with the Cleave. I don't know. He doesn't like fight early enough to make it useful, if that makes sense. Like he can obviously still farm really fast. Yeah.
It's definitely not ideal, but if they don't want to grab Troll, they could also pick up Ursa potentially.
Dire team ban.
Yeah, he's all still in, but yeah, let's be real.
It's the Troll.
Just Troll.
No need to overcomplicate it.
No. And then should just be our mid hero last. Now, of course, the Troll could go mid depending on the matchups. They might even want to go a little greedy here, right? Because I actually would really like that if they know this Pango has to go mid at this point, or they're gonna have like a safe lane Pango and stuff gets weird. I think you kind of plan to have this Troll in the mid lane, and you go double greedy, and you get like another melee core to play to your safe lane.
Huh. Does Troll win a solo matchup against Pango? I don't know if I've ever seen that.
They would both just kind of farm, I think. They actually do ban the Ember still. Kind of surprised by that. I guess the hero is still really powerful, just at the moment.
They don't have the best tools to lock him down. Obviously, you've got Doom, but easier said than done.
Yeah, Pango just has a hard time really zoning anyone out of the mid lane, honestly. He doesn't have like enough mana to spam you out or anything, and he just kind of swashbuckles for range creeps. It's kind of his life.
Yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
Interesting draft from NIP. I'm not sure what they want to round this one out.
They need something a little range. They're so clumped right now. Like this Magnus could have the best game ever. They banned the Spectre.
I mean, something like Razor always comes to mind against Troll.
Feels like a good Medusa game. I feel like I'm punishing them really hard if I go Dusa.
Could work.
10 seconds remaining.
Mirana's actually pretty cool this game because you have the Bane, and then she also has nice range for like the Shadow Shaman wards. She's pretty maneuverable. They don't have a great way to catch her. I think Sumail played her yesterday too. I saw a couple comments saying, but I didn't actually see the game. But this would be a really good Mirana game. I don't know what XM plays. I remember people said he plays Tinker, Pugna. Can't remember his big heroes. He played the Razor yesterday too.
Yeah, I was gonna say he played Razor yesterday, but they just grab a Gyrocopter. So someone else that can benefit from the buff from Magnus there. And another carry, like you mentioned, nice and greedy. Very solid late game now.
Not the most common Magnus pick. I mean, we saw it the last time Gyro was somewhat popular. Teams were going for this, but this is not something we get too often now. I was actually just looking through some of their recent games, and they had picked a Gyrocopter. Like, LGD just don't play a lot right now, right? Like, they played the qualifiers, and then they played the qualifiers for CQ. Like, they played at CQ. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of crazy. And when they were at CQ, they did pick some Gyro, but that's an ace hero right there.
Arc Warden. So that's one way to finish off your draft. Do we like it, though? Does it match up with this late game that LGD has lined up for themselves?
Let's see. I think Chalice has a really good game here on this Magnus. This looks very clumpy. Everyone's really short range. The Arc Warden's going to be in the back line, and so there's definitely going to be a job for like the Troll Warlord potentially to be like kind of running back there, or maybe FY can try and get a big toss play off or something. But then again, it's also kind of hard to favor a Gyrocopter in the year 2019. I'm not sure how I feel about this pick.
I mean, I think Magnus helps, but
for sure.
It's also mid-gyro, which is a little bit different. When you say Gyrocopter, it's sort of implied that safe lane, classic position 1 style.
Yeah, it is quite a bit faster to the mid lane. And he's Radiant side.
I think this is relatively even in drafts. Looking at this, I don't see one side with a clear outdraft over the other. I think both have a lot of options for initiation, a lot of really good team fight. Ultra late game, I think I still favor LGD. Like Gyro Troll with Magnus is pretty scary, but Arc Warden, Doom, Pango can also scale pretty well themselves with that supporting cast. I think this one's just going to come down to good old-fashioned who's playing better.
there's multiple damage sources from LGD, like even just between the troll and the gyro, whereas once we get into the mid and the late game, it kind of feels like it's all on Ace on this Arc Warden. I feel like he has to do a ton of work. In terms of like consistent damage throughout a team fight, it looks a little weak from some of their other heroes. Of course, you know, that can all change when it comes to one big Earth Splitter or a ward trap, or, you know, someone just gets CC'd to death by a Pangolier. It's definitely not impossible or anything for NIP, but yeah, I would have to say I kind of favor the LGD draft throughout most of this game. But Arc Warden is still such a hard hero to read, and of course, he hasn't received any buffs despite all of these nerfs to the Midas. So I'm kind of curious if he'll just be going Necro 1 into something. Maybe like he doesn't even get Midas. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I feel like you still just kind of have to. But I think you get the Necro, like, because some players were wavering back and forth between Midas first or Necro 1 first. I think you definitely go Necro 1 first into Midas.
Next time.
Or maybe it's the other way around. Now that the gold is nerfed so much and the XP so much better, maybe you go Midas first? I don't even know.
I really don't know. I was going to agree with you. I think Arc Warden is one of those heroes that in a game that's relatively even, he's that X factor that can break things wide open, and just, you know, a couple of minutes of farming away with that Tempest double, and he can start to take over a game in terms of economy. We've seen it before, and well, we'll have to be patient to see if we'll see it again here. LGD NIP. This is where it begins, Trent. Upper bracket. These are the winners. There will only be one winner in this best-of-3 series.
I got the Spark right down bottom, completely guarding this rune. No chance for the Radiant. And now they're going to fight up top as well. And he actually gets it. 3-3. X-Nova not willing to skill the Nightmare because he wants that Brain Sap. So that means he won't be able to guarantee the bounty run. The fact that he also didn't take the Brain Sap even to just keep punching the Doom is a little disappointing as well.
Well, 3 bounties going the way of NIP. Good start for them. Looking at the lane setup, looks like it will be an aggro try for now. Both supports joining the Arc Warden played by Ace. So that means Fata's going to take the Pango mid. And up tap, that's going to leave 33 here on the Doom up against a dual lane. The Bane Mag.
X-Nova will slowly make his way bottom, I'm sure. He'll just give him a little bit of an edge to his mag. Like this is just so free, right? 0 armor Doom. Needs the armor from the tower just to have a little bit of survivability. And X-Nova's just going to keep punching him.
Still hasn't
even skilled the Brain Sap, dude. I hate this full mana bar. This is just like, you could be regenning mana right now.
The value.
But I know. He thinks he might end up needing Nightmare.
You're absolutely right, though. The low armor Doom is very harassable in these early levels. The aggro try so far, not doing too much, just putting some pressure onto Ame. Will get worse with levels, especially with this Arc Warden. I like the idea here from NIP, just put the pressure on the troll. They are going to go in on the Tiny with a shackle. And now a toss into the tower from FY. PPD, they're being a little bit of trouble. Tanking tower shots like a beast, but not enough damage to fall.
Yeah, they actually brought out the courier with a sentry for FY, so he's going to try and find this camp block here. Shouldn't be too hard, as obviously you can like 100% coverage these days.
Nova's still hanging out up top. Finally leveled up that Brain Sap. But actually not making the rotation bottom as predicted. Going to leave it as a 2v3.
I guess what changes if he comes down here? I don't know. I feel like they'd have kill potential. Maybe they're waiting till he's level 2.
Especially like Shadow Shaman is not really your classic go-to tri-laner.
He's got the punches, though. Makes it definitely viable in the lane.
He's not bad. I just mean heroes like Bane are
a
little more favorable with their HP swings, their disables, that kind of stuff like that. Any hero that can turn it into a 3v2 for a couple seconds, that's your sweet spot.
Aside from this, though, in the mid lane, it's relatively EV 13-2, 10-1. We got the Quelling Blade, of course, from the melee heroes, so Fata should have a bit of an edge. He just has to measure himself in terms of the harass, but it's still that top lane, 3-3. Solo has a salve up with the Scorched Earth. These Doom players do not like getting Scorched Earth. Any Doom that doesn't have Infernal Blade is upset, because that just means he's not playing Doom, right? Like, what are you even doing?
Yeah.
This is horrendous. They're putting so much pressure onto this guy. He's 4 last hits right now, and most of those are Devours.
Well, it's pretty much the same thing down bottom. They're putting a lot of pressure on this troll, and they're going to have another fight. FY locked in the shackles, tosses the Elder Titan back, and he's going to head back towards the tower. Rotation from X-Nova might be enough to keep him alive. PPD not going to find the kill, but on the other side, it's Ame. He'll finish off Ace. Saksa will chase him down, put in a little bit of extra damage, but the first blood is drawn and favors LGD. Much needed for that troll, who I was about to say also only had 4 last hits at the beginning of that fight.
Yeah, that is crazy that Ame was able to get in there and get that kill on Ace, just because I guess Peter was so busy with the Tiny that he wasn't able to assist. And now Ame's still sitting on 9 stick charges as well. But finally a little bit of freedom for 3-3. And that's the thing about Doom, is that it's, I don't know, it's never really worth trying to shut him down like that. I guess it did give the Mag a really good start in terms of gold, but Doom could just always catch up thanks to Devour. And the fact that they, were still able to get the kill on Troll means that it's not like they lost anything down bottom for LGD.
So but isn't that one of those situations where he sticks around just to secure the lane for Magnus, and now that he's ahead of the Doom, Magnus can play kind of aggressive compared to if it's just a 1v1, I think Doom has more options to slow down the Magnus.
I mean, potentially, yeah, because his skill build's a little bit different. He wouldn't even have Scorched Earth, right? He'd be like 2-0-2 instead.
Yep.
It's definitely good like that, but at the same time, like, Mag can also, like, he spent so much time without even having Empower, or he has other options as well. He can just push the wave and pull and stuff. So.
Well, 28-12 on Magnus may prove worth it. Pangolier mid lane. That's a solo kill for XM.
Wow, before level 6, I'll head an Arcane Rune. That makes more sense.
Yeah, that'll help.
Yeah.
Down bottom, maybe a go on Ace. Some ranged axes from Ame. X-Nova ready to follow up. FY's there with an avalanche toss combo, but FY is taking huge damage. Shackles stop the Troll Warlord, and that'll keep Ace alive. Now PPD on the run. He'll survive also as we move into a pause.
He's going for that bounty rune. PPD's onto it.
Run, PETA.
So he'll get, looks like they'll get at least 2, and 3-3, he's kind of got a big wave right now. I was going to say there's an opportunity for him maybe to go back and get his own bounty rune, but we'll see. He might just forfeit them both to Chalice and ensure he gets the last hits. So it looks like, if I had to guess, because Fada went for Bottle, I'm thinking that XM must have made some sort of a rocket play, because he was able to, despite there being a ward for the Dire, like, he got the Arcane Rune when Fada was one with the Bottle. So somehow he managed to beat him there, which means he must have, like, missiled him or something. And then Fada had an empty bottle when he died, so he probably just got out-regen because of that.
Big for LGD, though. When you have these kind of solo lanes mid with absolutely no rotations and you find a solo kill, it tips the scales quite a bit. Full level lead for XM now over Fada.
And the last person we've seen play a lot of this mid gyro, or at least that I tend to watch a lot, was No One. He plays it so aggressive. The second he's just like suddenly diving towers and stuff at level 7, level 8, rotating the lanes, diving his mid opponent and stuff. So be interesting to see just how much that we see from XM. You can see he's already getting a stack going on the camp next to his lane, and also helping to secure the rune bottom. But
I mean, that's the great part about gyro, Trent. You right click like a carry and you got magic damage like a support.
It's something else.
Call down, might connect on 3 here, but nice spark rate. Slow things down. FY with an avalanche toss combo. They'll get the kill onto Saksa. Now diving PPD. They don't want to commit for it. XM out of mana. We'll just head back to farming, but they got
Top
the kill
lane.
They came for. Up top.
He had to use a double RP and then salve to survive. So it was only a haste rune from Fada, so not a massive waste, but he did commit the ulti and got stopped by it. So really nice play there from Chalice to survive.
All right, Magnus and Troll top in the farming charts right now. These lanes feeling pretty good for LGD.
Yeah, he hasn't been maxing the Empower or anything because he's obviously in the lane. He has the Shockwave, and he's going to be kind of away from the Troll for a long time. So a lot of the Magnuses we tend to see these days are the max out Empower like ASAP, like 2-3 points in Shockwave, and then you just follow your core around. But Chalice is off to such a good start that he really wants that Blink Dagger, and he just wants to be making actual plays across the map. But you can already see Ame's on his way up here. He wants that Empower. They want to go for a kill. And they don't have any vision of this, so
FY starts things off. Avalanche toss. 33. Scorched Earth already been deployed. And it might actually be enough. No RP, obviously. Ranged axes connect. 2 TP rotations now from NIP. Shackles the other way onto Ame, but PPD tanks a Shockwave in return. Ame thinking about a dive here. They know Doom doesn't have Scorched Earth. Instead, they might just turn on to Peter. He's darn low. FY on the backside, grabs him with a toss. They need one more, and they've got it. Now 33. Again, hungry. He's dropped the Doom onto the Troll. Swashbuckle falls a bit short. Now the Rolling Thunder. They might find a kill on Magnus, and it seems they will, thanks to the Shockwave. Is Ame actually going to fall? It's going to be close, but no. 8 HP. He lives. One more tick, and that would have been a kill.
Man, what a turnaround, though. I really thought that was going to be a free kill. Just 3 heroes coming in on the Doom, but I guess they didn't quite find the right angle, and then 3T took the perfect escape route, too, by cutting those trees and getting back under his tower.
I mean, as much as you talk about Doom players not wanting to put that point into Scorched Earth, guarantee it saved his life there. It's pretty value.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Even just that little bit of movement speed can be enough.
And he's got the regen aura also, which is really nice. That 5.5 on Holy.
Yeah.
Helps a lot.
True. I mean, he even got the kill with the Shockwave, right? Not something you see too often anymore with these Doom players.
It's hard with the mana pool. What does it cost? 100 mana? It's pretty rough.
And he's going straight for the Midas. So what about Ace then? He's at 38 and 15 now, and still 40 and 8 for that Troll despite the rotation. That is pretty ridiculous. And so he is top of the net worth for the Radiant after surviving that, but still looking for his level 6. Likewise, same thing with Ace here. And they have lots of dire vision around here. Doesn't look like the Radiant see too much here as they move in for Ace.
Ame starts things off with some axes. Now toss back right into the fray, but PPD, he's there, and he's got shackles onto Ame. XM also making the rotation as well as Fada. This is huge, but NIP running low on resources. They've lost Ace, but they've gotten the kill onto Ame. This Rolling Thunder doing a lot of work in the back line. Soxa was put to sleep. He's now woken up, and he'll beeline it back into the trees. Unfortunately for him, clipped by an avalanche, tossed forward, trying to stomp path to safety. One more auto attack. XM just needs a little bit of vision, and he should be able to secure this kill. Trying to salve up. Soxa on the run. The Elder Titan, he's speedy. If they can't close the gap, they might not be able to secure this kill. Stick charges, not going to be enough for the homing missile.
Yeah, they're not going to double back for the toss because I guess he just doesn't have enough mana, are they thinking?
Bounty runes. Fada still able to grab it despite the avalanche. PPD taking huge damage, and that's a killing spree now for XM, though on the other side, X-Nova was finished off by Fata. Bounty runes, did all 4 go the way of NIP?
No, Chalice got
Chalice got 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3-1 though. NIP, they are the victors throughout that chaotic exchange that led into bounties.
Jeez, Rolling Thunder's back up. that's how long that just all went for. You know, by the time he finally makes it back to the mid lane, did that creep actually just see him? Kind of looked like it did. Oh, the sentry! They knew.
All right,
they had that ward down bottom that saw the invis rune get picked up, so he was really ready for that one.
Fada taunting a little bit there with the pump fake, playing the drums for us. I like it. And Midas is out on the Doom. Great timing there. He'll continue to accelerate his farm. Now #1 on net worth by a pretty decent margin, actually. 1,000 up on the Troll after that last skirmish.
So they faked a rotation bottom. They went up the steps there, and then they smoked on top. And then they're going to send the ET bottom, and the Shaman's going top.
Smoke broken there for Soxa.
And Peter has 2 wards, so this is going to end up just being a warding mission.
One.
Still hasn't seen the Troll yet, I don't think. Just be careful smoke doesn't pop. Oh, he has no idea the Troll's right there. Careful, Peter. Oh. And then now he knows the ward's there. It's like the second that Peter does that little move, though, right? It's like now that they know there's some sort of vision in that area.
Yeah. Down bottom. Go on to Chalice, perhaps. Already used the skewer, and that'll be enough. As we get a double damage spawned in the bottom position. FY will be the one to pick that up. Nice bottle for the Tiny.
So it looks like XM's thinking about some drums here. I mean, he's working on some of these stacks they had going. There's another camp up there that FY's paying like, hey, why don't you come farm this? I want some XP, please. Maybe goes back mid instead.
Vlad's now up on the Troll. Itemizing pretty standard. Looks like the Arc Warden might skip the Midas. He's also got a Drum of Endurance queued up after his power treads.
Really? That is interesting. Is that what they're doing now, I guess? I wonder why that's better than Necro 1.
don't know. I can't think of a good reason. Easier build-up?
I mean, that definitely comes out faster. It feels like, you know, these Arc Warden players, they want the same thing.
Oh, PPD up top. That's going to be a freebie. Yeah, I mean, it comes out faster, but it's also just an easier build-up. Like, you get more value along the way. Whoa, from downtown, a long toss onto the gyro. He gets doomed up. He'll just head back to safety, or at least try to. The rest of the team trying to figure out, do we commit or do we run? And it's Fata with the rolling thunder that sets up the kill onto Chalice. Stomp going to fall a little bit short. Ame and FY trying to beeline it back to their side of the river, and at least one of them will make it. This Tiny seems he'll be left behind. The Spark Wraith slowing him down at double damage, not going to be able to save him. Maybe thinking about a deny into Roche. Not going to happen. 3-3 secures the kill, and now they're going to get an extra on top. Bane throws his life away to make it a double. The Doom Gyrocopter did live, though. However, we've got wards. Objective Dota, they're going to grab 3 and then turn this right into a tower push.
I feel like Fada's rotations, like, he got RP'd when he went top, but aside, or for that first kill in the mag, but aside from that, I think Fada's just showing up the perfect times in all these fights. And, you know, Fada, definitely a guy who gets ragged on a little bit in terms of this squad. I feel like he's always the punching bag when it comes to people looking at their matches as to who kind of screwed up. So,
yeah, Twitch chat,
you know,
we're looking at you.
Well, you got to give some credit, because I feel like this Pango's been doing a lot of work so far. Just every time that they're trying to make an initiation, he's getting off that ulti and helping to turn things around.
Almost cursed in there, Trent. Takes a lot of damage mid, but nothing an invisibility rune can't solve. Things definitely feeling pretty good for NIP. 7-7 in kill score, but over a 3K net worth lead. Doom just accelerating this entire time as we're talking about the other heroes moving around the map. He's got his drum, phase boots, working on that next item. They're going to go double drum.
Yeah, drum's definitely not one that's too bad for doubling up. Totally fine.
Yep. It's not a huge deal. I just think of it as relatively uncommon that you see teams
Heater is just
commit for it. Yeah, we're going to see LGD up top. PPD fed one away, but the battle for the bounties will draw some more blood up in the top section.
Support's dying for bounties, typical. Mag, well, yeah, speaking of which, Mag also just got his Blink Dagger, and he instantly TP'd down bottom, so he's partnering up with his other 2 cores. They want to grab a quick one onto this Arc Warden. And Ace, oh boy, he is so close to death.
It's nighttime. Don't think they have any idea yet. There's Chalice over the tree line. RP into call down. Not much 33 can do to save his Arc Warden, and Ace is done for. On the other side, Ame could suffer a similar fate. He's been doomed. A lot of damage coming his way, and the best they can hope for, I think, at this point, is going to be a deny on him. Saksa also gets brought down in the fray. Chalice getting credit for that one. The troll actually lived through it again. I can't believe it. That's a heartbreaker for the Doom.
Yeah, he popped his ulti right before the Doom. So that's what ended up happening, so he just didn't take any damage for like the long duration of it.
Wow. Yeah. Another very close call, though. Still great fight for LGD. They end up grabbing 2. Great blink reveal, and that's dead Arc Warden, the high prize target they came for.
Not too shabby then.
I wonder what Doom's going to buy next. BKB, okay.
Guess doesn't really need much else, right? Just trying to survive through. There's a ton of magic damage right now in these mid-game fights. It's going to be like when Tiny starts getting his full levels up on the toss and the avalanche, and then just shockwaves and call downs.
I actually thought Pipe might be a choice here if you wanted to build into more auras to go with the drum.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that as well. I guess maybe he feels like he's going to be playing kind of solo. Like, for example, Pango doesn't really benefit much from the Pipe.
That's true.
And Fada going to be going that kind of typical defensive style Pango. Has the Maelstrom, but now he's going to go back for the Greaves.
Yeah.
He did have his arcanes nice and early.
Yeah. Pipe might not feel ideal, but I think it does help in these kind of mid-game fights. We'll see Tiny get initiated on here, but you know, just offsetting some of that mid-game power of the gyro with all of his magic damage.
Yeah, no, I definitely think Pipe would be a fine item. I'm also a little surprised that he didn't opt for that instead. The BKB feels like a little selfish almost, but he's also, like, he's top of the net worth, so if he dies, it's pretty painful.
Yep. I would also think Blink could be a consideration. Your positioning tool, get your ultis off on the ideal targets every time. But either way, NIP will continue to secure objectives. They get that tier 2 down bottom after deploying the Rasta wards.
And then welcome to ET. You do not get a Roche for free. Just send the spirit in.
He's, I guess Elder Titan is kind of a god regardless, but he is really the god of the Roche pit. Not only
ever
scouting,
since Naga
but
died.
I mean, is there a better spell than Stomp in terms of delaying Roche? Whoa, that's an RP. Solo on the Doombringer. He's a 3v1 in the enemy jungle. 3-3 going to try to run away as best he can, but I don't think he's going to have anywhere to go. Out of runway, FY is just going to cut it and secure a kill for himself.
Yeah, I would say it is probably the best. Like, Flare is obviously a very good one when you're across the map and everything, but I mean, the Astral Spirit is just like, not only does it give you the vision like a Flare does, but it always just threatens the Stomp the entire time.
Yep. It's just like that threat of, I don't know, guys, what if we get stuck in the pit with 3 of us asleep? That doesn't sound very good.
And they're just looking at us.
Arcane Rune on the Arc Warden. Potentially scary, though I think it'll probably just go into farming. Speaking of farming, Maelstrom going to be his next choice. Not surprising to see that, but still, no Necro Book, no Midas. Items of the past.
I mean, it makes sense in this regard, though. If you go, like, the drums into the Maelstrom, like, the drums obviously helping your Maelstrom a lot more than a Necronomicon would. Plus, it is against a Gyro, too. I guess we didn't really consider that.
That's a fair
Necro, kind of. I mean, good and bad versus Gyro in some ways, but
I think Troll maybe fits a similar bill of all the carries that don't mind just whomping on those Necro units and tanking the damage, the last word or whatever. Troll can usually handle that pretty well also. Oh, yeah. Good point. Maybe Ace has done the math on how much XP and gold he was likely to feed away with Necro units, and it didn't check out. We'll see Ame initiated on here in the mid. Slept, doomed, Earth Splitter. They dropped the whole arsenal on that guy. Now on the other side, it'll be X Nova. He gets off 1 brain stat, but only buys him about half a second as NIP pick up a 2-for-0 exchange.
They have the wards if they want to go Roche. It looks like Peter's kind of considering it, but he just instantly TP's bottom.
He did have wards available.
Yeah, I think it's just, like, wards aren't that great for Roche, especially level 1 wards. I don't know.
Was there a change to the damage types with Roche that made wards shittier than
I believe
used to be?
worse than they used to be, yes. But there's, I mean, they're still okay. It's just like, they're not this, like, you know, remember when you could, like, solo Roche just by ward trapping him and stuff?
Yeah. It's not quite a Slardar ult.
No.
Up top, it's like we could see some initiation. PSG.LGD in pursuit. They did get a stun onto the Arc Warden. Chalice, he finds the RP. Call down will still connect, and Ace gets ripped apart. Nice pick for PSG.LGD.
Feels like the Abed Animage yesterday, where it's like he's just hitting that point where, you know, oh, I'm going to start farming really fast, and he dies a couple of times, and you're like, oh, game's suddenly kind of hard. And now, like, 1, 4, and 6, this Arc Warden is halfway down the net worth chart.
Yeah,
not where you want to be.
The scary part about the lack of Midas Necrobook we keep referencing is those are the power farming tools that let you just recover that gap without much trouble. If they kill him once or twice more, that's brutal. Like, that starts to really cripple that economy. He is going to try to pick up the Shadow Blade next, but a lot of farming to do until he grabs it.
His items are kind of weird. And FY now has a Blink Dagger. He was just sitting in the side shop waiting for the gold to tick over. So he's level 9 with Blink, kind of that perfect timing.
I've been loving these support tinies, man.
It's shocking how good he still is, despite the tree throw nerf or the tree grab nerf a while back.
It's all about
it
toss.
Really hurt
like,
his denies.
Toss is one of those like flaming lasso-esque spells that unless you just completely rip the spell apart, it's kind of hard to balance. You could take the damage away from toss, and it would still be pretty damn good.
Yeah, I think the changes to Avalanche actually made it quite a bit better too. Like this bigger cast area, like the AoE, really helped for these support tinies who don't necessarily need that Blink Dagger that early to still have good initiations.
I would agree. I think that change was a pretty good trade-off where it's wider, but you now have like the kind of stutter step where it's not just a solid stun.
Yeah.
It was a good way to give Tiny more options and utility without making him straight busted. Or, well, I guess he was for a little window there, but, you know. Smoke up. NIP looking for an option, maybe thinking about Rosh. He's also got these Spark Wraiths here, so Roshan is pretty well covered by the Dire this game. Soxa charges up the high ground, double damage rune on, but he may be the first casualty. They're not going to commit much to the fight, but they do still get it with a call down. BKB popped by XM and some roster wards deployed, but now Ame's here, and this is not the fight NIP were hoping for. They do get a kill on Chalice, but they've lost 3, including their Arc Warden, and now they're going to lose their Pango. Doom onto the Gyrocopter. XM is just kiting him around, and 33 is now low on options. He's just going to try to TP out. It might be successful. It'll be close, and he gets it. Big fight for LGD.
Not quite fast enough on that one.
They also did use a buyback on PPD there. Probably not too costly, but huge gold swing. About 2,500. Actually, no, about 3K. Wow.
Yeah, so they get the RP onto the Arc Warden, but Peter instantly got him with the Hex before he could skewer, drop the wards on top of him, but it still didn't really matter. There was enough damage just still piling onto Ace, so he just got stuck down amongst the snakes and died. And again, he's 1-5 and 7. Like he's not farming with this Maelstrom. He's gone up 400 gold since he finished it, I think.
Being very nervous about this Arc Warden. I mean, the Magnus is nipping at his heels in terms of overall farm. He's going to have a Yule's Scepter before too long, just a recipe away now.
This troll with BKB is going to be gross. Like, if he is in power, who do you even doom? It's kind of hard to call, right? Yeah. If you doom the troll, you have to make sure he doesn't get off his ulti. If he gets off his ulti, you will at least take off the Empower if you doom him, but he's obviously still going to be wailing away at you, not taking that much damage.
Yeah, this is a scary moment. That was the 10-second BKB for Gyro in the last fight, so he'll be on 9 seconds, and the 10-second for Troll is on its way out. Also, a Sanj and Yasha about to be completed for Gyro. So, very survivable cores now for the Radiant team, and also with that Magnus buff, the Empower, they've not got any damage issues, I think is a
These are good SNY games. The status resistance has a ton of value in this match. Like, Satanic for the Troll Warlord after that MKB, if that is what he wants, it's going to be pretty gross. He's definitely just trying to deal with the Arc Warden bubbles, but Peter's coming in from the side.
Uh-oh. Tower goes down. Peter's going to get caught. PSG.LGD were ready and waiting. Wards do go down, but a beautiful call down gets set up, connects on a few. BKBs get deployed. Fada in the back line doing a lot of work, but now Fiend's Grip kind of stops him dead in his tracks. 33 will finish off the Bane, but a nice RP connects on 2.
Baby.
Do they have the damage to finish this off? This Gyro is lining it up, but 33 is still alive. They've lost X-Nova and lost Chalice. Finally, Ace falls. Fada in the trees looks like he could survive. Gyro with a Yule's Scepter will get slowed down as well. NIP somehow hang on to that fight, and it ends a pretty even trade. Maybe not done yet. They jump back in onto Ame. He hangs around a bit too long to farm, caught by the Echo Stomp. And this should be a dead Troll Warlord. XN, he comes back in. Now he gets doomed. The compounding losses for LGD. He's going to fall as well.
That's a 7x streak that goes to Fada. Okay, that disarm. Lucky Shot is one of the stupidest skills ever added to Dota. Like, he disarms that troll, right? They have them RP'd. He's got the Empower going on the troll. He is wailing away on these guys, and then suddenly he gets disarmed because of Lucky Shot. And you're just like, oh, praise the Lord if you're on NIP. And he can't clean up the kills. Fada manages to escape the tree line, and then because he escaped from that one little moment, and Ame sticks around to farm, he ends up going down. And then XM, Save Your Buddy Syndrome, he goes down.
Yep.
And suddenly it's a 1K lead for NIP.
Another one of these very chaotic fights where it seems like both teams are sort of trying to anticipate the movements of one another. And, you know, hard to say if PPD's rotation to start off that fight was a good thing or a bad thing. He died early, but he still got the wards off, and I think
it was definitely intentional. He meant to do it exactly because, like, the way that they wrapped around like that, and then he wrapped around from the side like that, he knew he was gonna die.
Exactly.
Like, there was no doubt.
But I think it was worth it because it broke up the fight where the LGD heroes that were sitting right there were like, oh shit, does he have backup? Let's kill the Shadow Storm. We'll see a fight up top, so we'll hold that thought. FY was shackled up. Now is that a Shiva's Guard come out on the Doom? Sure is. I don't think FY is going to make it out of this one. He does have a lot of reinforcements nearby, but they're not going to commit for the fight. Instead, they'll just head back to their side of the river. Or are they? Looking for a skewer on PPD. Chalice will miss it. Homing Missile going to try to chase him down. I don't know how far they want to chase this. Nice stomp connects on 2, and the Rolling Thunder. Fada. There we go. Finally able to break that little loop. Ame pops his BKB, and we'll end up using it defensively. Buyback even used by the Tiny. But yeah, I think Peter's rotation, just to finish up that last conversation, actually helped insert the chaos NIP needed to win that fight.
Yeah, you can tell by the way he just like hexed and instantly dropped wards, right? Didn't even think about shackles or anything like that.
Yeah.
He knew he was gonna die.
Yeah, very nice.
They you can see that NIP are being forced to play around the Roche pit right now though, and constantly throwing the Spirit. They're covering with spark rates, and LGD know this too, so they're gonna try and bait out Ame.
Oh, RP only connects on the Doom, and now the Hex the other way. Rasta wards as well, but BKBs get deployed, and they find the kill on Fada to start this one off. PPD in an awful position now as he channels the Shackles, does secure the kill onto Chalice, so maybe worth giving away his life, but it is LGD that take a 2-for-1 trade here in the mid as Fada finally gets shut down.
Jeez, they're not even going to try and clear up those snakes. They did see this Invis rune as well picked up from the Tiny, but all the damage in that fight coming from the Gyrocopter. So he's able to just kind of sit back there and chuck it out. That would have gone a lot better, yeah, if they were able to get the RP off and then save the Fiend's Grip, but they had to RP the Doom and then Fiend's Grip the Pango. So, I mean, still a win for LGD. They're going to claw back the lead a little bit here. But what they really want is that big wipe to put themselves into Roche, because if they have Aegis on this Troll Warlord, the fight looks nigh impossible for NIP, honestly.
You're right about the status resistance. The Satanic queued up for both Gyrocopter and the Troll.
Yeah, it is the item this game for sure. I notice Ace is almost the Shadow Blade. I mean, it's been a long road, but he is getting there. Eventually, the hero is kind of guaranteed farm just by there being 2 of them. Oh, but Troll hits the peak, though. Level 20, baby.
Ooh.
At 40 damage is just ridiculous.
Do you think this Shadow Blade is the right choice for Ace? Like, is this going to be a game changer? And he's changed it. He actually grabs the Force Staff.
Okay.
There you go. Answered my own question.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I definitely can't really see what a Shadow Blade would have done. I was a little curious what he was going for there.
I think Hurricane Pike definitely makes sense. At least he can sit back in these fights, try to get off some right clicks. Give you that much-needed mobility so you can survive in these engagements.
There's I don't know, there's this looming inevitability this game that I feel like LGD are just going to win.
I don't disagree, although they will catch the Bane. Rasta wards deployed, however.
I mean, they're close enough to hit Roche, I guess.
Yeah, that's something.
That's just on the wrong side of the wall, you know? I mean, just wasn't quite thinking.
I don't know. The game still feels very even to me. I mean, easy to say when it's 20-20 at 30 minutes with less than a 5K net worth lead, though NIP is holding on to that favor. But as we mentioned during the draft, as this goes on longer, I think things get better for LGD. Their damage is just going to go up thanks to the RP. Troll and Gyro scale very well into the late game in terms of survivability and AoE damage. I think this will continue to get more difficult for the Dire unless something really changes or they take a couple really good fights.
Oh, 3-3 though. Now this is a good answer to the Troll Warlord. The Aghanim Scepter on the Doom.
Oh.
You took the plus 40 Doom DPS. I mean, most people do, honestly. Either way. But with the Aghanims, like, the Troll, like, sure, you can survive through, but you can't just, like, stick around for the whole fight, right? You'd have to actually leave and then come back. And one of the benefits of Troll is that if he gets doomed, he doesn't really care. He just keeps fighting.
You're right. Not an item
and
we
can't
see
burst
all
down
too
this
much,
Doom
but
that easily.
Chalice might have a catch here. BKB does get used by 33 to counteract the RP. Now they're going to go in on the Tiny. NIP actually want to fight this. Our PSG.LGD ready for it. Ame jumps in on the low ground, and they will catch the Shadow Shaman. Call down almost enough. Gets picked up by the Guardians, but still does fall. On the other side, this Troll is chasing deep. He gets doomed and just obliterated. Chalice charges forward, but without an RP, not much he can do besides retreat. Now 33 blinks in, and they should be able to get this kill onto the Magnus. No, beautiful combination with the Avalanche, and he blinks out. NIP hunting for more. They won't find it.
Man, I see how this Troll Warlord died. He died so fast, actually. It was mostly just all the... Wow, he took 525 damage from Spark Rates. Jeez. Spark Rates are actually insane.
But now Roche
so most of the damage
up.
is by far by the Arc Warden there. Actually, it was kind of split between the Arc Warden and the Doom. I mean, the Doom itself, just the skill, did about 1.1k that quickly. So that is something. I guess that's one of those status resistance things, right? That's like one of the problems. where that'll add up as well when he gets the Satanic.
Definitely one of the unintended, well, one of the unfortunate drawbacks of
necessary
status resistance.
evils, I guess, right? Now, there is a bug with that as well, if I recall, where, I don't know if you can call it a bug, but I'm pretty sure that you keep the, because like the way it works is that because Doom is a status that you're trying to resist, you essentially like the Doom lasts less time on you, but you still take the full amount of damage, if you guys haven't seen this before.
Right, so the DPS is higher.
Exactly, so the DPS goes up. Now, what happens then is if you have the status resistance and you get hit by the Ag's Doom, you still get the increased damage despite the fact that you're not actually reducing the time you're doomed.
Oh.
So it's one of those interactions where you kind of get screwed over a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I see how that...
Right?
Yep. Because the Doom Ags just basically keeps refreshing as long as you're within the certain radius, right?
Yeah.
So you can't... Status resistance is pretty useless against that general mechanic because it just keeps getting reapplied. Oh, man. That's a good call, Trent. This is a great Ags Doom situation.
He's already moved off of it, though.
Has he?
He's moved off of the Satanic, that is, I mean.
Oh, the Satanic. I'm sorry. I thought you meant
he's
the
already
Aghanim.
starting to take towards the Basher and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, what an odd mechanic. Either way, some pressure around the tier 2 here in the top lane for LGD. Nip all grouped up. This is all 5.
And it won't, just be clear, it doesn't refresh. It just like let's say you have 10 seconds left, it stays at 10 seconds. It doesn't go back up to 16. That would be really broken.
Yeah, all right, I guess refresh isn't the right word.
Yeah, I just want to, because I know the way we said it, it could be misconstrued.
Okay, that's fair. I don't know what the word is, though. It reapplies? Nah, it's still...
No, I don't know.
It
does not degrade.
It's extra sticky.
It sticks.
It sticks. Yeah, there you go.
All right, perfect. Well said.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
X-Nova hiding in the tree line here. Okie dokie. Both teams being very cautious. Getting to that stage of the game where it's pretty scary to lose a team fight, and you're going to start taking damage at your tier 2s, tier 3s. Aegis in the hands of the Doom right now, and has enough gold for the Ags.
I'm reading that was fixed according to Twitch chat. Thanks, chat.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, there you go.
So then that means that as long as you're within the Ags range, that it's going to go back to the normal damage.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, chat. Look at them. That's why they're here. You know, we got the no delay land cast, man. I got my brainstormers.
Dude, you got to use it while you can. It's a rare treat.
I know. I love the live cast. I'm a big fan.
Always good to crowdsource that data. Still, it's been a strikingly close game. We've never seen it swing more than like a 5K net worth advantage for NIP. They are still ahead by just about 1K, but very, very even.
This Doom is definitely, or this troll is definitely dying faster with Doom than I anticipated. Not gonna lie. I felt like this troll was still gonna be kind of fine. Yeah. But like the second his ult ends, I guess both times lately he hasn't gotten his ulti off, so I kind of have to wait to see if he gets the ulti off first, how much stronger he's going to be.
Now,
but there she blows, so
Shadow Blade really also picked up on Magnus. I don't think it's been revealed yet.
Do they really have no one going Lincolns? That is interesting. I thought someone would. I guess like maybe the Doom players just like, they don't care anymore. They just always find a way to pop it. You know what I mean? Like, you get like one good use out of it.
Yeah.
If you don't have like a straight up like good Lincoln's hero, maybe it's not worth.
Doom's making progress towards that refresher. Ag's refresher is pretty darn scary on Doom.
Yeah, that's real spooky. Oh my god, how does he still have so much gold? That's insane. I was just looking at this Magnus, who's also thinking about refresher, and he's got like 670. Just like, yeah. Just bought Shadowblade, and Doom's like, yeah, I just bought an Aghanim.
Well, look at the positioning right now. NIP are just ready to jump the moment LGD move out of the base, and LGD know it. Like, they're moving as this 5-man squad into their one camp closest to the base.
Yeah. And they just, like, how are you ever going to burst down through the... I mean, the NIP are really smart. That's why he has the Aegis, right? They only have it for another 30 seconds. That's why they're forced to jump.
Well, Doom jumps in, gets it onto Gyro, but Gyro does BKB beforehand. Both teams very spread out. It looks like X-Nova will be the one that's caught.
Chalice?
He's going to buy back. Chalice pump fakes an RP.
Yeah, they had vision. I feel like LGD really wanted to force that there. They're going to try and actually smoke out here over these next 2 minutes. That's why the Bane's buying back, because they want to fight when there's no Doom.
Well, I definitely understand it. I mean, if you're LGD in that situation, you know you have to get out of your base. This could be a dieback for the Bane, though. He gets put to sleep, and X-Nova's dead. Rasta wards come down. RP does connect on the Arc Warden. Skewer back, but do they have the damage to finish him off? Ame trying to get the Pangolier, and he does. Ace trying to walk away. A homing missile is going to chase him down, and he falls. It looks like this will be PSG.LGD's fight as they grab 3, but PPD finishes off the Magnus as he tries to TP home, and he makes it. FY can't get the Avalanche out in time. It's a 2 for 3, and they got the Aegis.
Why'd they go back in? You just doomed a Gyro. Like, what was there to gain? The Aegis was expiring, but why? Why'd you do that in IP? I can't say I really get it. Seems like a pretty foolish decision. Like, what was there to gain? I guess they thought they were going to catch him off guard or something, but man, did you see how tanky that Pango was, though? It took the Troll's entire ulti. The guy was swinging for like 400 damage with Empower.
And an MKB.
Yeah, and he barely killed the Pango. He was up to like 50 armor.
Fall down, queued up as Ame gets a Lotus Orb. Excuse me. He'll head back to the low ground. Fada breaking things up with his ultimate. Buyback used. I wonder if part of it was that psychological factor of NIP seeing the Bane and going, oh shit, this is a dieback. Let's kill him.
Yeah, but who cares? That's like if it's a core.
That's why I say the psychological thing. I understand now as we're looking at it from our God view, but in that moment, you know, you have that thought of, oh shit, this is a dieback. Let's kill this guy. It's going to be a 4v5 and he can't do anything. It seems tempting in that, you know, half a second you have to jump on him and start the fight. That's the only thing I can think of, because I would agree with you. Looking at the cooldown lineup, you're better off just farming for another 2 minutes and waiting for that Doom cycle to come back, and he might even have double Dooms at that point, you know?
Well, in the end, it's definitely not game losing or anything for NIP. It definitely got a lot of breathing room, though, for LGD. So there's that Satanic for the Troll. What about Gyro? He has Satanic, and he's trying to decide between a Mjolnir or an Agonid. Kind of a late Ags, but it is really good when you're stunned.
He's got the right items for it, too. Satanic, Maelstrom.
All right, here we go. 3-3 with the big Doom.
FY jumps in. He gets hexed up, but Doom getting obliterated. Barely gets the BKB off. Worth that RP from Chalice to set up the kill. And that is 33 on the sideline. As the Tempest double they're chasing after there as Soxa goes south. Chalice actually losing the duel against the Tempest double, but that's okay. They'll finish it off.
Ace stopped running.
And continue to pursue. They found the real Ace. This is just a straight dead Arc Warden now.
What? He just stopped. I think he stopped microing his hero for a second.
That was peculiar. I have no explanation to offer for that one.
Whoopsie. That's a big one. That is for sure.
Yeah. Well, now LGD are looking at the biggest lead they've seen this game.
And we got our Roche timer, so it is relatively long. That is definitely going to benefit NIP here. Great targeting by LGD to go right after the Doom. Like, clearly the target that they want to go for, as he's been the big key to success for NIP. I mean, he's been their top net worth for this entire game at this point. Hard to believe this Arc Warden has been the lowest farm core the entire match, though. That's rather devastating. And XM, no cares.
He's feeling confident, enemies. That's for sure.
Look
charges up the high ground.
They're he's so far away from everyone.
He forced out the glyph, though. And he does upgrade the Mjolnir first. And now it's going to be Aghanim's for Gyro. Troll
Static Charge, one of those abilities you can never really see the big impact on. Tier 2 like
double maybe? Oh, makes it to the high ground. Okay.
Cuts the wave though. There you go. Big plays, and they're smoking out here. They got the Doom, and Fada's thinking about it. Oh.
Gyro's BKB is still on cooldown for 20 seconds. There is a window. Soxa charging forward. Arcane Rune does come out, picked up by Chalice.
Wanted that so bad. It's like, yes, please. And they're going to smoke with it too now. I'd like to see this wrap around. Well, they'll say they're just going straight down the mid.
Seems like it. Ame in the front lines. FY jumps in, starts things off on Pango. That's a hell of a target if you can finish him off. He does survive, though. Guardians will pick him back up. There's the Rolling Thunder. Doom has been deployed, comes out onto the Troll, and he's getting knocked around by this Pango. I don't know if he'll be able to live through it, but XM, he is still pretty healthy. 3 down on the side of LGD. This is NIP's fight all day. 2 buybacks have been used already. XM now on the run, being chased down by a Spark Wraith, but he will be able to survive. The freshly bought back Troll here in the fray. Magnus didn't even get to use his ultimate either. That fight basically could not have gone worse for LGD, and that lead they picked up for themselves has now swung right back into the pockets of NIP.
Yeah, the downside to Doom, though, the counter in the buyback means that they are still in control of the Roche. But they are forced to head towards it now, and of course, with the ET being up, then they should be able to cover that here. So, when it comes to buybacks, what are our issues here? Any for the Dire? Not really. Fada's the only one with a timer, and now, well, 3-3 has bought out because he knows they want to fight this Roche, and so he has to refresh his Doom. And he's going to pop it. He hides the refresher in his stash, so he's coming in without showing it. They're not going to know this Doom is back up.
Very smart plays here. Roche falling very quickly, though. Troll can bring it down so quick. Now the Doom jumps in, and this Troll, he's surprised, and it very well could be a dieback there. XM in the front lines doing a lot of AoE damage, breaking into 2 fights as PPD will be the first to go down. Troll running up the high ground, desperately trying to get away, but he gets finished off by Fada as he jumps to the high ground, looking to grab Chalice as well. It's going to be ring around the Rosie, around the shrine. Now up to the high ground, Doom joining the fray, and that'll be a dieback for the Magnus. 2 down for LGD without buybacks.
Baby.
They don't need Roche. They're at least getting 2 lanes, if not the game.
But it should just be game. I have no idea how you defend that. And there, the 3-3 refresher, hidden, easy game.
Wow.
Troll's just like, I mean, why would you pop ultis that Troll, right? There's no way. And yeah, they just got bodied.
No, I mean, there is a world where you think, okay, Doom's got money. What's he going to buy next? He probably wants a refresher, but trying to guess that timing, and right there, you feel like you're safe. I mean, we've talked a lot about players thinking a step ahead. That's it right there.
Yeah.
And I think they are going to try to
everything.
Straight for the tier 4s, just skipping this mid lane of barracks. Roster wards have been deployed. They've got 50 seconds until Magnus and Troll are back up. Tiny jumps in, almost finds a kill on PPD, but he will get picked up thanks to the Guardian Greaves. FY goes down, and it seems that this might actually be the end. After 45 minutes of a topsy-turvy game, NIP in good shape to finish off the throne.
Yeah, 3-3 just, he controlled this whole game, honestly. He led the whole game in net worth for the vast majority of it. Got a great start, despite, like, that's the thing with this Bane, too, though, that I meant earlier on. It's like, no matter how much you try and slow down Doom, it just doesn't matter. This hero farms so much.
Gyro making his final stand as the throne explodes. NIP, game number 1 in this best-of-3 upper bracket. 1 win away from taking first in this group stage. Impressive
Sick
stuff.
Doom pick. Very nice. I mean, they're showing that this hero is still so good, like, even without the Grimstroke that a lot of teams are, like, almost always pairing with it and everything, and just took the whole thing. Jeez. Ace, I mean, obviously he had a little bit of a rough game, and he still had low net worth, but if you go to that hero damage, I mean, the guy was still pumping it out. Hard to believe that Doom was ahead of both him and the Pango, but then right behind him were the Arc Warden and the Pangolier, so.
42k damage done by Ace's Arc Warden there. Talk about a hero you can't shut down.
I was looking at the damage received for a moment there. My bad. Yeah. Yeah, very nice stuff. Wow, they actually tanked so much damage this game. That's kind of crazy. 60-some K each.
On Gyro.
Look at that reduction on the Pangolier. 67.6 when just from like the shield crash and then the Greaves as well. Man, I really thought that LGD were going to have this one. I did not respect the Doom enough this game. 3-3 just completely shut out Ame. He was the key player yesterday, without a doubt. The guy went deathless, I want to say, across the 2 games. Did he die? I feel like he didn't.
I think he died once. I know
He
that
might have
PL
died
died.
once. Yeah.
But 1 death.
Yeah, he had a completely ridiculous game yesterday. Oh, yeah, he went 9-1-11 on the Jug. Oh, yeah, he died once in game 1. Wow, what a loser.
Yeah.
But he is the loser today because NIP have taken game 1. So obviously still pretty even teams, but I'm looking forward to game 2, man. We got ourselves a series.
Absolutely. We'll have a short break, and then we're going to come back. Game number 2. We've got 3 best-of-3 series today here in Group B. A lot of Dota still coming your way. This was just game number 1. Stick with us because we've got more Dota 2